Welcome to Slammers Weekly. I'm Beau. I am here with Ben Litt. We are going to try to catch up on all the August happenings here. It's been a while since we last caught up. I guess we'll start with the Patterson Cup.
Yeah, that works.
That's probably the biggest thing locally that happened in August. So why not start with that?
Yeah, it's a good place to start in the most recent installment of Slammers Monthly. Where do we want to start?
Yeah, so I guess we'll hop to the climax that Logan. How do you pronounce? Do you know how to pronounce the name?
I think it's Pacheski.
Pacheski.
Apologies if we butchered your name, Logan.
Yeah, it seems like a really fiery fella.
Sure.
Judging by the videos, I mean, to say the least.
Yeah. No. Yeah. The serious swag factor. I know that sounds lame, but that's how I felt.
Yeah, the guy was strutting around. He was feeling himself.
Yeah, with that Rutgers rah, real bravado, right? It seemed like no shortage of that out there.
What a bad fight song that is.
Oh,
That's got to be one of the worst in college sports.
Yeah, it is.
Are you rah? Are you?
Been to a few football games up there. They stink
so
too.
Bad.
I'm not a big fan of the brand, the whole thing. It's an armpit. Yeah.
It is bad. For a state school, it's bad.
Yeah.
But it probably is pretty fitting for North Jersey. So, Logue out there. So, yeah, give us a little rundown here, Ben, on what happened out there.
Yeah, I guess I'll say at the outset, one of the more fun leaderboard follows I had on the back nine of like a GAP major. Mm-hmm. I guess in recent memory. There were so many guys that were in it and making runs and ejecting, and it was a lot of fun. Were you out there following?
Well, yeah,
on the Genius.
Well, we were in our group chat. We actually thought Logan hit the ejection button. We said he's out of here. After that, what, on the 8th hole was it? He had like a double.
Right. So the stretch between 4 and 8, he went double bogey, double par bogey. So that's 6 over par on 5 holes?
Yeah.
Thought he was about to vacate the premises, right? We might have had to file a missing persons report up there for Logue.
Almost like he was just fighting for an exemption for next year, a top 20, just so he didn't have to qualify.
Yeah, or trying to backdoor a Silver Cross thing or something.
At Pocono Farms or something next year.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden...
Holy moly. Rips it into high gear, eagles 9, and then makes...
Which is a great eagle. I mean, but that's a hole you only eagle, I feel like, when you have nothing to lose.
Sure.
If he's in the lead, yeah, because that hole's so tight, man. Anybody can pop a ball out of bounds there.
Sure.
I mean, I think the late Mo Norman, if there's ever a place he could lose a ball, might be the right side of that Lanark 9.
But anyway, eagles 9, turns over, goes out in 40, and then makes 5 birdies in a monsoon on the back nine of a GAP major. That's Iceman stuff, dude.
It is.
That's crazy. I mean, what a turnaround. You don't normally see that from amateur golfers, right? Just flipping the switch when the going gets tough and totally taking it deep there.
Well, we've seen that narrative how many times where you have the overnight lead, the guy comes out, he's nervous, and he shoots 43 on the front, and he's just out there just, watching for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
It happens almost every major, it feels like. There's one guy that does that.
Sure.
And I can't really remember ever, like you're saying, a guy doing that, right, essentially removing himself from the tournament. Like his probability of win was probably, it was one of those .0s, like with like the less than sign, right? Like just like almost
the book's not taking action
off the board,
on it anymore.
Off the board, yeah. And then all of a sudden he makes the eagle, he gets back on the board a little bit, and then just steamrolls the back nine.
Right. And, I mean, and to boot, there were a bunch of just chasers, names, that went out and posted numbers and kind of were sitting in the clubhouse pretty dry and waiting for those guys to come in. So I guess namely Troy Vanucci.
Yeah, he did go out early, Troy, and had, he shot 4 under or something?
Shot 67 in round 2, posted -3. Josh Ryan went out, posted 67, -3, hung a number. Jeff Osberg went out and posted a number, -3, right? So you had the final kind of contenders there, Logan, Austin Barbin, and Matt Matare, playing with that -3 number over their heads, right? It's always tough to be out there when you already have a number posted and you kind of have that number in mind that's going to be a winning score or a losing score.
Yeah. That was one of those, it was so muddled that you couldn't almost even speculate. Like, I would think you just got to play, right? Like, everybody's right around the lead. People are making birdies. And
totally.
It was probably, I mean, it had to be so fun to be a part of. Like, that's the kind of stuff that I know you and I would just love to be able to work towards at some point. 'Cause
Oh, yeah.
being in that situation had to just be a blast for those guys. Yeah, and then the final hole, we saw that on the video, and what happened to Matt, which is obviously just brutal. We all feel for him. We've all been there.
Yeah.
Maybe not to it's all relevant, right? Like we've missed those putts, in club championship matches, or to miss a cup by one, whatever it is, right? Not saying to lose the Patterson Cup, but I mean, we can somewhat resonate with that.
Yeah, missing a consequential putt for us.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So that was. It's a shame because you kind of wonder if he was just on a dry green. Obviously, everyone's battling the elements. I'm not trying to make an excuse for the guy, but you just kind of wonder if he would have done that if it was a beautiful day.
And even right in front of him too, Austin Barbin makes that 25-footer up the hill.
Well, that's what happened.
Up the slip and slide, right?
That's what happened. I mean, so he's got to be thinking, and I'm not trying to put myself in his head, right? But we all like to speculate a bit when we play, especially when it's that close. You kind of have to. You're kind of figuring out what you have to do
to
get this done. And Barbin, like you said, has that 25-footer that just in those conditions might as well be a 45-footer on normal greens.
Sure.
From a make probability standpoint. And then Logan goes long over the green, and which is no man's land back there, and hits the best shot he could possibly hit on the flop shot from what it looked like, at least on video, to put it to, 15 feet maybe?
Yeah.
Whatever. So Matt's got to be thinking, there's just a really good chance. This is it's almost like you run through the scenarios in your head. It almost reminds me a little bit of like the Danny Willett last year with the Willett and Max Homa.
Oh, yeah. The Fortinet or something?
Yeah, the Fortinet,
Some goofy fall series
But
thing.
where it's like you're a smart guy, you run through you can't really see how you can lose this. Because you're like, you run through the scenarios, it's like I need a guy to make a 25-footer, a 15-footer, and I have to miss essentially a tap-in.
And,
right?
It's downpouring.
And it's downpour, right. And so you're just thinking, like, most of the time you run that scenario, the guys run it up, they miss, you lag up the foot, you tap in, the game's over.
Right.
It's really like, so what happened was certainly interesting. We got a chance to catch up with Tony Regina, who said that was one of his best moments covering GAP since he's been doing it, and I think he's been doing it since 2009.
Yeah,
he said so.
Yeah,
pretty. Almost 15 years now, and trying to find a headline for that event was tough to predict as things were unfolding there down the stretch.
Yeah, no kidding. So we had a 3-man playoff after that. The tournament wasn't over after that. We had to go to a 3-man playoff aggregate. What do you make of the aggregate playoff format? Do you like that? Do you not like that? Are you more of a sudden death guy?
I like the aggregate for a 36-hole stroke event. I think I think I do. I think I do like it. What about you?
Yeah, no, I think it's fine. 4 holes. I think 4 holes is a lot though.
Yeah.
Maybe 3.
Maybe 3. Yeah, 4 does seem a little much. But I will say this: I think when it's 2 guys, I don't really care what format you do.
Yeah.
Right. But when you have 3 guys, the sudden death gets funky.
Yeah, no,
I think the aggregate's better with 3.
More like penalty
if I'm
kicks
playing
than anything.
if I'm playing against one guy, it's like, hey, I know what I got to do. I got to beat this guy on this hole, and so I think it's a little bit more palatable with 2 guys. But yeah, 4 does seem like a lot. I agree with that. But yeah, kudos to Matt after missing that putt and all the emotions that he went out in the playoff and shot even par.
Yeah,
I mean, all list by 1. I mean, that really, guy's a seasoned player.
Consummate pro.
Yeah. I mean, I think a guy of less golf maturity would have gone out and maybe not done that. But yeah, hats off to Logan. That was really one of the more impressive wins I can remember. In the area.
5 birdies on the back 9 with the eagle on 9. That's really kind of what you ask for of a champion, right? Just going out and getting it, and overcoming adversity in the process.
And that's why we need to get some TV coverage on this. Like we were talking to Tony, even if it's just 1 hole, like I said, give us 1 shot that we can watch. The viewers can watch it.
Yeah, just like a hard cam stream of 18 green, just like a time lapse, right? Just
exactly.
Set a camera out there and just let it roll, right?
Exactly. Day 1, you stick it on. We were talking about maybe a splash cam hole, or just a hole with some water and some excitement.
Yeah.
And then day 2, like you said, stick it on 18, and you can kind of just see what's going on there. I think that would get more traction than you think, because people would like to see their kids and their friends and their family members, whatever, on there. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, and I mean, to boot, you get some great shots, but I also heard I had a friend playing out there who was playing with a guy that made a 12 on the 18th hole.
Oh my God!
That is, I think some of the sod laying, I think the likes we've never seen in our lives.
He was laying sod.
Yeah.
Where? Like around the green?
Yeah, just like chunk after chunk after chunk.
They were rolling back to his feet. I don't. So that's the thing. We did the preview for it, and that hole looks like it's gotten better since they've done. With the run. Last time I played there was no runoff on the green. It was just like heavily bunkered and rough on the green. It was kind of like a shot options around the green weren't really there. I also saw somebody post, though, I think it was the GAP Sportsbook, which is run from a guy out of Lulu. Said that he said 18th hole at Lanark may be the best finishing hole in GAP. I think that's a little strong, too.
To quote Mike Breen, way off. Right? No thanks.
Yeah. I don't know if I can get behind that, but it does look like a better hole. It looks a little more fun, a little more shot options there.
Yeah, and just to add a little bit more color to that 12 on 18, I was told it was OB twice, and then a chunk in front of the bunker, chunked that one, it rolled back into a footprint, had to play out backwards of that bunker, chunked it short again, chipped it on and two-putted. So that hard cam, the GAP 18th hole cam could have picked that up. That would have been entertaining for the folks at home.
That just gives you anxiety thinking about the
I know.
I just don't.
I know.
I don't want to put too much thought around that.
Yeah.
The double pump and then the stop. Like that's enough bad shots for a year in one hole.
Totally.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's double pumps, man. If you have those in your game, you almost shouldn't be out there.
Sure.
USM this year. A little disappointing. Not much to add here. A little disappointing from our area. Nothing really. Nothing noteworthy. We usually have one guy that gets a match play or does a little something. I mean, the 1 year, Jeff Osberg, I think, was the number 2 seed in stroke play, which is crazy. Such an unbelievable feat. That he wasn't even a college kid at the time. This is when he was older. Right? It's not like he did it 15 years ago.
Right.
He did it again. You know, it's going against some of these guys that are going to be on tour instantly. The next year, right?
Yeah.
Like it's essentially like a mini tour event.
It's not a fair fight, really.
No, the fact that he came in with number 2 seed was amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing really noteworthy this year. I think 1 year, I think Matt Teasdale got in as the last seed, and I want to say, I could be wrong actually. I know he got in as last seed. I want to say he may have won his first round match and beat the number 1 seed, but I could be wrong there.
Okay.
But usually once in a while, like I said, in USM, we have guys get in and do a little something. This year, we didn't get really good representation in the area. Like all the local guys.
Too many mercenaries.
Yeah, guys came in.
Yep.
Yeah, so nothing noteworthy there. U.S. Mid-Am qualifying. I think this is a round of the year candidate. You tell me what you think. That Andy Butler, 7 under at Woodford.
I think so, man. He took it just so deep there.
And it's not a course that I'm not going to go on record and say it's a hard golf course, but it's not an easy golf course to do that on.
No, absolutely not.
That's really, really good playing.
Yeah, I'm going to get the card up.
You get in the car. I want to say it was an 8 birdie, 1 bogey deal.
9 birdies.
9 birdies, 2 bogeys.
2 bogeys.
Okay.
I mean,
bogeys came on what holes?
We had birdies on 1, 4, 5, 7, and 9.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the back, flip over 11, 12, that's a gimme, and then 16 and 17.
Okay.
9 birdies. Thank God we didn't hang a most birdies in a round line.
Yeah, that would have gotten shattered.
Gotten cleaned out.
Yeah, there's no way you would have had it at 9, that's for sure.
Man, 9 birdies out there.
And then what holes did you bogey?
He bogeyed 8. That hole stinks.
Oh, that is a bad golf hole.
And then 15, which
I like 15. I think that's one of the better holes on the course. That's a pretty good hole, actually.
Yeah, sure.
Green's tough.
But 32, 33?
Yeah, that's, like I said, there's not
3 clear of second?
Yeah, there's not many rounds that really wow you in the area. Like, you got a lot of guys, like, very once in a while, you almost feel like that's like a once in a half a decade round in the area. Like, not many, right? You get, like, you think back to the Chris Alt 63, like, 15 years ago at Rolling Green. You think of a couple other rounds over the years where guys have taken it 6, 7, 8 under, but very rarely do you see that.
Right, and I'm just kind of doing the caveman math here, but it looks like the average score in the day was like 77, 78. So we're looking at like
a 14-point spread.
Yeah, 12 shots gained on the field there, just in one round of golf.
Yeah,
He's been
playing some good golf. He seemed like he's got. I know he's always been a good player, but I feel like he's gotten significantly better the last year or two.
Yeah. I think
Post college, right? Which is interesting.
Yeah. He played at Villanova,
but he's better now than he was probably in college, right?
I guess. I mean, he's playing good now, so
yeah.
I don't know. He was in the mix at the Patterson Cup, I think.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
it just
Silver Cross. I think he came in like a distant third. And speaking of, we should mention that. I almost forgot to mention that.
Yeah.
Troy ended up winning the Silver Cross.
Minus 10. That's jarring.
Yeah, that's. Well, what was it? It was like It was like him and Osberg. It was just a complete 2-man race.
Yes. Yeah. They lifted and separated. Yeah, we had Vannucci at 10, Osberg at 8, and then Andy Butler third, minus 2.
Yeah.
But I mean, those guys lifted and separated.
I mean, that's 10 under at those 4. So what's it? 2 rounds at Lanark, 1 round at Huntington, and the other stroke play was at Lookaway, right? So, yeah, 4 stroke play rounds there, 10 under. Yeah, that's really good golf. You're not gonna. That's tough to beat.
Yeah, it seems like, and going back to Andy, it seems like with him, just like the floor is so high. You know, like he hasn't been close to winning one of these, but he's always like playing extremely well in all of them, right? It just seems like he's like a Scotty Scheffler.
He never chops.
Right? There's just no way he's going to play bad.
Yeah.
Right, at any of these. He's always going to be in the mix.
Well, I'm excited to see how he does in the Mid-Am this week because he does have the game to make match play and do some damage. You know?
Absolutely.
So this is what I love about golf, and you got to really just be inspired by stuff like this. So last year, Troy had the U.S. Mid-Am debacle qualifier. He had mentioned that when I interviewed him. He was, I think, 4 under with 3 to go and finished like double par double to miss it by 1 shot. And, and it was just like the way it happened was really just unfortunate. Like not knowing the course, a couple out of bounds balls that trickled out. And, really stuff he lost sleep over for a while. Then he goes out and he's leading the Silver Cross and misses the cut at the Patterson Cup and can't even finish that. And then turns around this year, finishes birdie. So he birdies the last hole to get in the playoff, then birdies the first hole of the playoff to get in the U.S. Mid-Am, and then comes back and wins the Silver Cross. So just check off 2 demons. That's awesome. That's what I think what golf is really about, is just like just keep getting back out there, keep getting better, and then the wins will come. Even for me, like just all my club, like I told you how pathetic I've been in the club championships over the years, and then, like you just keep keep playing it. And I feel like that's what's so fun about golf, is looking back on things like like Troy was able to do this year. It's just
you learn so much, and develop, and you learn your lesson.
Well, in that moment when you're so down about whatever happened,
sure,
you never think that you're good. Like you just you can't even see that far into the future,
right?
And then to see it kind of come full circle, see the big picture, it gives you perspective. And it's a
beautiful thing.
It's rewarding. Yeah, it's very rewarding.
Also, your guy, John Rusk, also made it through qualifying.
Jay Rusk, I saw that. Yeah, good for him.
Yeah. So.
Who else do we got out there?
Josh Anderson, Morgantown, PA. Scott Calamar, Owen Mulhern.
I played that Owen Mulhern in a match play in a GAP match one time. And
really?
I think him getting in is like extraordinary, like a really unbelievable accomplishment for him. I'm not saying he's not a good player, but I don't know if he's ever really done anything. Like the impression I got when I played with him, he was just kind of getting into golf almost.
Sure.
So he's obviously made a lot of progress. It's awesome. I think that was his home course. I played him at Woodford.
Oh, awesome.
But yeah, that's cool. So I think looking at those guys, I mean, you got to think Troy and Andy have a good chance. If they play well at match play.
Yeah.
Out there.
Yeah.
That's definitely. Hopefully, we get some guys in match play and get some guys competing out there from the area.
How big's the field again?
So the USM has 312 players.
Insanity.
And the US Mid-Am does have 264.
God, that's crazy.
Easy. 264 is a big field. So, but you think about the US Mid-Am, it's a little different than the AM. Is the AM nobody sneaks through? Like nobody.
Sure.
Anybody that gets in the USM is really, really good.
Yes.
Whereas guys like you and I could sneak in a Mid-Am.
Sure.
Where you just have you can't compete out there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably 25 to 35% of the field.
That has
like
no
no
shot.
shot. Like just
Yeah.
they can't. There's no way they're going to shoot even par for 36 holes out there or 2 over, whatever the number will be.
Right.
Like they're just happy to be there. They're taking pictures. They're taking in the Hudson over at Sleepy.
Yeah.
They're just
Hopefully
soaking
Beau's
in-
on that par 3 on the back. What is it? 17, 16?
16, the
16?
thumbprint. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just happy to be there. So, yeah, we're like I said, the Yam's a little different. Like there's the only thing you're hoping is that maybe some guys are just going to be off their game, but nobody's faking it out there.
Yeah.
You did not try for the Mid-Am this year, right?
No, work.
Work, yeah.
Yeah.
I ended up driving down to this course in West Virginia, and what an experience this place was. I mean, I showed you some pictures.
Yeah, you said it was a top 100, right?
Are you kidding? Or is it?
I'm kidding.
Oh, you're kidding? Your face was so serious. I'm like, dude, how did you forget already? Holy shit, how crazy did that place look?
My God.
Dude.
What was the name of it again for the listeners?
Oh, man.
Is it worth a name?
Locust Hill.
Locust Hill. Okay.
So, it's funny because I really just hope that a few of the Philly guys that were out there listen to this, because I like at least somebody can just... so there was a few guys, like a couple Philly staples out there. It was like Pete Moran was out there.
Okay.
Patrick Knott.
Okay.
A couple other guys.
Interesting that Pete didn't do the Whitford one.
Yeah, maybe he's got either scheduling conflict or
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he liked what he saw at Logan. Maybe he thought he could. He thought,
Really take one
thought it
deep.
was worth the 3-hour drive down to West Virginia.
Yeah.
So we pull up to this place, dude, and it's one of those places. As soon as you pull up, their dining area is a tent. Right, you kind of know you're in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I go in the pro shop to get balls. They have one kind of balls in the whole place. Callaway Chrome Softs. That's it.
Okay. Great start.
Yeah, we get out to the course. I mean, dude, when I say, this is just, I can't emphasize this enough. It's the worst place I've ever, like, you can't even describe how bad this place is. Everything about it. The layout's horrible. It's house lined. The conditions are just, like, pick the worst conditions you've ever seen, and that's the
Really?
condition. The greens are 4s. There's anthills on the greens.
Oh, my God.
I mean, so during the tournament, I had multiple crabgrass lies. I had a dandelion lie. I had a clover lie.
Ugh.
I had balls on grass I've never even seen.
There are no amount of mixing and matching the wedge grinds and bounces to accommodate for the dandelion and the clover, right?
Nah, I had lies
Yeah.
I've never had before. They
Yeah.
had like random rocks just dropped there. Like
Sure.
the place was crazy. So I'm sure the story has spread throughout the Gap just from the few guys that have played there. 'Cause
Sure.
we're taking the practice round, and these guys ahead of us are from Mountain, and they're just like videoing this place, like sending all their buddies, like, we cannot believe this place, dude.
It really sounds like a nuclear fallout hit like Tullamore.
Yeah,
Right?
no. So I was just getting ready to say that you think like a Tullamore Applecross is bad. You have this is a whole nother level of bad. Like
Yeah,
it's just
sure.
Oh my God.
Mhm.
I had one story I thought was good. So we were playing with this kid. The 5th hole we're playing is a shoot. He can't get through the shoot. He hits 5 balls that get engulfed by the trees in the shoot. Like
Just coughing them out one after
yeah,
another.
yeah. He's the first 2. He took his time. After that, he was real dramatic because he kept having his caddy out to throw him to him. He's like, Jimmy, another. Like, Jimmy, I need another ball. Like,
It's like a tin cup moment.
yeah,
Perfect.
it was, and you could tell like if you had a heart rate monitor on him, if just off the charts. I mean, he was so flustered. I felt horrible for him. Anyway, after the 5th ball, he said, "Guys, I'm done." All right, and he took his hat off, shook his hand. We did the card thing.
Sure.
And he's like, "All right, man, have a good one. Whatever, no big deal. Happens to all of us, whatever." And he goes, "No, I'm not heading in. I'm gonna 4-cat it for you guys for the rest of the 9." I couldn't believe it, man.
That's incredible.
It was one of the classiest things I've seen on a golf course. That guy really like changed me a bit. The guy.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't believe it. And he was like really like into it. Like he would go, run ahead, making signs and stuff. Because of course he had so much trouble.
Sure. you could use one of those guys out there.
Yeah,
right?
no,
He was
it was
really actually
yeah, no,
helpful.
it wasn't like he was 4-caddying for you at like a Burlington or something, right on the front 9, where it's like buddy, just go in. Like couldn't lose a ball out here if I tried. No, it was great. And anyway, so I go out there and I'm thinking, I knew we played the practice round, the place sucked. I'm thinking I'm not going to get much out of this trip. There's no way I play well at this course. I'm a vibe guy. Like this
Sure.
place is a dump. It's hard. The number's going to be even par or something. Like I'm done, right? Like we already, I'm not like completely psyching myself out, but I'm being realistic.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get some value out of this trip, and I ended up camping there. And I just randomly found this campsite right off a river. I was like, this is awesome. I thought it was going to be like, I'm going to use this, maybe reconnect a little bit. I fall asleep at like 9:30. I wake up at 9:50 to the ground rumbling. At first, I thought there was a helicopter landing.
Right, you could have been in real trouble there, trespassing on like government lands or something.
Yeah, I didn't know what was going on out there. And next thing you know, train horn goes off. Train goes whizzing by. I mean, these are long trains, man. Like 2-3 minute, ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. So it goes off at like 9:50. I'm like, all right, I'll be good. Like, there's no way these things run all night. Like, all right, I'll go back to sleep.
Sure.
Dude, these things ran all
Jesus
night,
Christ.
man. What a nightmare. I didn't sleep at all, dude. The first time, 2 times it happened, I jumped out of bed like I was going to have you have a heart attack. Because if you look at it on the map, dude, it's literally like 50 yards away. Like, I looked at it, I couldn't believe it. It was like it was just that's why you do your homework when you do this stuff.
Sure.
So I got no sleep, played that shitty course, drove home. What a crazy trip that was. Next time we got to make sure we're a little bit closer to the deadlines.
That's part of Mid-Am golf, you know. You're busy, you're a busy guy, you're an adult. Sometimes you don't make the deadlines. So.
Yeah, sometimes time goes and you go, holy shit, Whitford's on a wait list. And let's move on to the club stuff.
Yeah.
Calcutta.
What a great tournament, man. It's one of the crown jewels of our club's tournament circuit. It's not a great tournament circuit, but the Calcutta really sets itself apart from the rest.
As critical as we are of Riverdin and just club stuff, I think it is the best format for a tournament. I really don't think you can make it any better.
Sure.
So, you want to elaborate for the listeners?
Yeah, sure. So it's a 2-man scramble, 36 holes, 1 day. It's stroked 35% of the higher handicap plus 65% of the lower handicap. So I would say generally it favors some of the lower handicaps, and there's also an 8-drive minimum for each player for 18 holes. So 16 drives have to be accounted for in each group per 18.
To me, that really eliminates the high guys. Once you throw the 8 drives in, they're done.
Right.
Like it just turns into a low man tournament. You don't want to tell them that because we need as much money in the pocket.
They are wising up, though.
They are. I know. I feel like after this year, after Jeff and I, you know, I feel like we're like one more win away, or like one really good showing away from like people starting to get discouraged.
Right, or changing the format.
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
changing the handicapping. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they are wisening up, but yeah, that's just for the low handicapper. I just think that's. But last year we had 2 high handicappers win it, so they can win it.
Yeah, and there have been higher handicaps that have won it. It seems like the sweet spot could be like a 6 to an 11 as well. Mm-hmm. Can be competitive, but the guys that are in like
the high guys have no
17
chance.
to 20 have absolutely no chance with the drive limit. And I mean, just hitting the ball, right?
Yeah.
Not very good at it.
Yeah. But I think that's a tournament that almost should be the standard for that event.
Absolutely. It's 36 holes. It's 1 day. You spin it up, or you have it, or you don't.
We have the pre-party the night before, which is great. The betting party.
Right.
Everyone gets there, brings their cash, and then just 36 the next day, and that's it.
And it's the best lunch.
It is
any tournament of the year at Riverton. The best lunch. I don't know why that is.
Yeah, it's weird. But they bring out the nice bread for that one. They get the fresh rolls, and they put out some legit sandwiches.
What a mystery.
But yeah, I'm kind of over the whole 3-day club stuff. I think it's just it's silly. Like now that I don't have a wife that I want to escape from, right? Like I'm good. There's better stuff I can do than hang with the boys for 3 days and get drunk. I'm good. Like I can do that for 1 day. That's fun. And the next day I'd rather do something else.
Sure.
So that's why I think I really like that 36 1 day versus all the shenanigans and all. I'm over that.
Well, we would be remiss without saying that you guys did win it. You and your partner Jeff Long did come out victorious in that Calcutta. So 2/3 of the Beau Slam there complete this year. It's a shame they won't let you into member on the wait list, but I mean,
it's a story for another day.
Yeah, that is a story for another day.
Yeah, it was a nice payday, but don't worry, I have plenty of gambling losses to offset this win. And then
you're gonna talk men's league finale.
Yeah, I was gonna say the next club
men's
thing,
league
the
finale.
men's league finale. Holy shit! So
first up, before we get into it, is this a thing at other clubs? Do other clubs do this men's league thing?
I don't know.
This format? I've heard of men's league, but I've never seen or never heard of like the debacle like our men's league playoff.
No, because you would think you would have heard stories over the years of stuff like this,
Right.
because it's so crazy.
And it's interesting because our club, Riverton, has a tournament called the Debacle. I think we should just move that namesake to the men's league playoff and just call that the Debacle. That would work for me, and I think for all parties involved.
This really was the craziest thing I've ever been a part of in golf. So we have this men's league, and basically it just stretches out over the season. It's essentially meaningless, the results, right? Because in the sense that like so many teams get into the playoff, right? Like by the end of the season, teams are mailed, and then like no one even really knows what's going on.
I would liken it to like a free fantasy baseball league with your buddies, right? Like there's so many teams by the end of it that just don't care and don't check their lineups and set their lineups and even play, right? So it's like it's more of a game of who's the last person to care. That's the last person standing right before this playoff. And
the crazy thing about it, in trying to set the table for this, is people care so little that even for the finals, people don't show up.
Sure.
So I'm at the club, right, and that's where I come in. I didn't play in a match all year, right? Men's league's not my scene. I mean, it never has been. But they needed an extra guy, and there is some pretty good money on the line. There's like in the thousands of dollars pro shop credit, but there's some pretty good loot on the line there.
Yep.
And they needed an extra guy to play on the team. They let you sub for the finals. So I didn't play at all year. I subbed for the finals for this 19 handicap and like a 10.
And you get 15% of the winnings.
Yeah, so it's a free roll.
Good.
And I was already at the club. I had the night off. I was like, yeah, I'll go up there. Sure. I didn't know what I was getting into. I don't know if I'd do it again. But anyway, we go to the first hole. So there's 3-man alternate shot.
Yep.
23 teams. So just alone right there, that's 70 guys, right? And then you had people come out and watch, and the pros. So there's like about, I would say, over 100 people watching, right? So
it's a hootin', hollering sort of time.
But yeah, there's anytime you have that many people watching as an amateur golfer, whether you're good or bad, right? Hello or high handicap, you're going to be a little there's nerves. You don't want to do something silly in front of your whole club. Like our guy, we got to say his name, right?
Who are we talking about?
Lear.
Lear.
So the guy who faked, if you caught up on our last episode, who faked that he won the long drive contest at Riverton, goes out on the first hole and in front of everybody clean whiffs a drive with about 120 mile an hour club head speed. Clean whiff.
Not even close.
It was hard to process because it's an alt shot, so the guy had to go and like run and grab his driver and then go hit the drive.
Right.
Like it was crazy. Like
right.
It was like something like I was in shock. I've just never seen that before.
And I heard allegedly he took a quote unquote practice swing before that was dicey.
It looked like a whiff.
So
he hit one and we were like, was he trying to hit that? And I feel like he kind of played it off, and then the next one he whiffed again, and the pro said, "You're done." Like
just
like I've seen enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it might have been 2 whiffs, but it's unconfirmed. But
yeah.
So he whiffs, and I'm just watching this whole thing like, oh my god. Anyway, 23 guys tee off, which is probably over a 30-minute span. Right, each guy a minute, whatever.
Easily,
35, 40 minute, whatever. My guy hits the best drive out of anybody. He hits it to 60 yards, right? So I'm the last to hit. So between when the guys teed off and when I go to hit, over close to an hour had passed. So I'm just iced here.
Yeah, that's like a kicker's worst nightmare, right?
This is crazy. Like I've never seen anything like this. I have like a dicey little 60-yard wedge shot
off like
the
the
upslope, which is always
gross.
It's like
Were you in the fairway too?
In the fairway.
That's gross.
Yeah, so I'm sitting there and I'm the last to hit. Wait an hour. Anyway, I had a good shot for like 10 feet, and we get up onto the green, and like once again, I guess I was just being naive. I wasn't sure how this was going to go down. We get up on the green, and there's just balls everywhere, right? Mm-hmm. And there's some guys that misses the green, and our pro is not letting the guys mark the balls.
Oh my god!
So the guy's like, "Can we get some marks on these, Mike?" And Mike's like, "Absolutely not." Like, so this guy's chipping, dude, and he's trying to get to the hole, and literally there's like 13 balls in his way. It's literally
a minefield.
Yeah, I'm looking around like he's not going to let him mark them. Like the chances of him he could almost hit like 3 balls. Like if he like sculled a ship, it could just be like balls going everywhere.
Right.
So a couple guys chip, and then eventually someone's like, Mike, we need to mark these. I can't even I can't even see a path to the hole. Essentially, like I can't even hit a good shot if I try.
Right.
It's like cornhole where you're trying to throw it over the bat, like trying to slam dunk one.
Right. It's almost like a bump and run turns into a flop shot really quickly.
Yeah.
Right?
You're trying to nip one. Yeah, it was crazy. So eventually they start marking them. And I didn't even think about this, but then you have, at one point you have 23 marks on the greens. Well, everyone's using a coin or a Riverton marking, so you go like, who's who? Like, you can't even, like, is that us? Is that, like, you, right?
Right.
And then you have, every time someone putts them, someone's like, hey, can you move this mark? Because once it gets closer and closer to the hole, there's marks everywhere. God. Dude, it was such a debacle. I saw one guy in front of everybody turn like a 20-inch putt into like a 16-inch putt with like the inchworm.
The inchworm. Just total angles.
It went from makeable or missable to just like a tap in.
He made a great big triangle with that mark move back, right?
Right, this tree, that tree.
Circle of fire.
Yeah, I'm looking at this guy. He moved. That was pretty good. Next thing you know, he's just tapping in. It's like, oh my god. At one point, we had two guys putt at the same time, and I saw it happening. I'm like,
from 30 feet away, from like deep.
Yeah, one guy's behind the pin, one guy's in front. And I see this about to go down, but I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to screw anybody up.
Sure.
So I'm just like, oh my god, please don't hit each other. And they hit, and they come really close to hitting. One hits it 10 feet past the one, and one's at 10 feet past the other one. And then you have guys that are just begging for gimmies when there's 23 teams and it's a stroke play thing. And guys are like, come on, we can just go good. And like, dude, you can't. Like, people are going to miss these. Like, you had guys shaking over putts.
Oh, my God.
You had guys missing. There was multiple putts between the 28-inch and 4 feet mark that were just, didn't even have a chance at going in the hole.
Oh, my God.
Putts.
And to boot, the ones that went in are going in the side door, right?
Oh, they're completely eking in.
Horrible.
Nobody's hitting the center of the cup with the solid roll. The choking was crazy in that.
It's almost to the point if you brought a doctor out there for like a primary care exam, right? None of them are passing the neurological portion of the exam, right? With the tremors that you'd see out there.
You wouldn't trust anybody with a knife in their hand watching these guys.
No.
Dude, it was scary. Like, I'm watching, I'm just like, this is... Part of it was comical, but... So I went through so many emotions in that, watching it, because I'm like, this is funny. Then it just became redundant. It's like, all right, another guy misses a tap in. Like, we got it. Like, this is the 12th putt that we've seen just... yipped. Like, it's not funny anymore. This is just ridiculous.
It's a horror movie.
Yeah, it is a horror movie.
Yeah.
And, so... Anyway, it took us an hour and a half to play that first hole. I hit one shot in an hour and a half. I'm sitting here, what did I get myself into?
And to boot, the guy that whiffed on the first tee, their group made it in.
Yeah, that's how bad the joke was. They had a clean whiff, and he gets this is the irony of it, he gets to hit the tee shot on the second hole. So his teammates are trying to rally him up, like, come on, Lyric, keep your head down, Like, and he hits this, like, complete bomb, but just completely off the map onto, like, the 15th tee box, a spot you've never seen anybody, right? Like, it's one of those, like, high pulls that only somebody who is bad and has 120-some-mile-an-hour club head speed could even possibly hit.
So I don't get what's the impulse for just wailing driver on two 360-yard par fours?
I have no idea.
I don't know. You're not going to hit it on the green.
Yeah,
right?
No.
You're just going to end up like in some weird wedge spot.
I don't know. They were done after the second hole.
Sure.
And so anyway, we get to the second hole, and I have a 25-footer to keep us in this thing, right? I make the putt.
Cash.
The 19 handicap. They're all pumped up. They're starting to buy in at this point. They've never won anything.
This is their Super Bowl.
This is their Super Bowl. And I'm starting to realize that. At first, I didn't really care. I make the putt. I'm like, all right. And they're like, let's. I'm like, all right. These guys, like, I got to, we got to do something here.
Sure.
So we get to the third hole. We play the third hole well. Anyway, this is the funny part. So I had marked my ball on the second hole with some dime I found in my pocket. I always have a bunch of loose change in there for whatever.
Sure.
I had made one putt with this mark.
You've hit one shot with it.
Yeah. And on the third hole, we have like a 20-inch putt that our 19 handicap has, and he goes, "Well, where's that dime? You got to get that dime you got, man." I'm like, I didn't even know what he was talking about at first. I'm like, what? Like, I don't know. Like, I was like, he's like, the one you just marked your ball with. I'm like, he's like, it's our good luck dime. I'm like, dude, I made one putt. Like, good luck. Like, what do you mean? Like, it's not like something like it has like history. Like, we use this whatever. It's like, dude.
Right. I found this at a Revolutionary War site or something.
Yeah. Right. There's no story behind this. I'm like, all right. So I'm digging my pocket. I finally find the dime. I give it to him, And anyway, we get to the fourth hole. This is the best part. So we get to the fourth hole, and we have like 12 feet. So we keep advancing. So and to recap on it, it goes from like 23 teams, 14, 8, 4, 2, right? That's like kind of like you eliminate teams each hole. That's like the format. So it actually got funner as it went on because there was less teams, whatever. And we have like a 12-footer for birdie. Carl limps it up, right, to like 2 feet. Our other guy runs and he just wants to tap it in because he doesn't want to be iced, right? He's like, I want to finish. And Carl goes, no. He starts kind of coming up and like almost nudging the guy out of the way.
In.
Try to hand him the dime. We got this dime we got to mark the ball with. We just played 2 holes with it and we made pars. Like, we got to get this dime on the ball. And the guy's like, kind of like, get out of here, Carl. Like, kind of like nudging him away, right? Like,
just I'm just going to hit the dime.
Tap this in, man. Like, and Carl's trying to sneak this dime in and I'm just like, oh my God, this is the craziest thing I've ever been a part of. Oh my God. But it's just so funny how you get these high handicappers and they have zero belief in themselves, so they're just seeking something else, some external force to push them over the edge.
It's like a pain sponge or something, right?
Yeah.
Need something to soften the blow.
Well, it's just something they're just looking for some kind of like crazy magic, right? Like this dime has magic. Like I can hit putts because we're market. Like it's bizarre. It's bizarre thinking. Like I'm just like Carl. Like, we gotta cut it out with this dime, man. Like, anyway, we ended up losing in the final. We made it to the final 2 teams, so I mean we made some good money, and it was a shame we couldn't get it done for the boys, but it was fun.
It's all right.
Yeah, it was just it was what a crazy thing to be a part of.
Could be like a first time, last time.
Yeah, I don't think I would sign up for that again. It kind of ruined my night. I had plans. Next thing you know, I'm out there for 4 hours playing 6 holes. It was like
with Carl and
in the pitch black. It was
was it pitch black
by the time we finished? Yeah, it was just in the dark.
Sucks.
Yeah, we ran out of daylight basically. All right, before we move on to some of the stuff that's going to happen in the next month or so, or the next week or so I should say, we got a little intel on the GAP majors for next year.
Yes, so we have intel that the GAP Am is going to be at Saucon. We don't know the 2 courses they'll use for stroke play. And
I mean, I'm assuming Way Hill and Old.
Okay, no Grace?
I wouldn't think so. I mean, it's definitely the lesser of the 3. I mean, if they're going to shut down the property, you would think they would give the 2 better courses. But
you think they'll do Way Hill for match play?
I don't know, man. We played Way Hill last year. I think that's one of the more overrated courses I've ever played. I think I don't know. I think Old's better. I think both of them. I think both of them are tad overrated, but I think Old's definitely better than Way Hill for championship.
Yeah.
I think the vibes out there are just incredible. I mean, the place is like
my God.
It's like golf heaven out there.
Yeah.
Especially in the fall when we were up there.
Oh yeah, that was like late September. What a perfect time to play that place.
Beautiful. But the course itself, to me, doesn't really. It has more bad than good.
It does have some goofy holes. That is it the 7th hole, par 5 on the front?
Oh,
that hole stinks.
That's horrible. Is it 7 or 6 or 7? Yeah,
6 or 7.
7, yeah.
And then
the whole middle of the course is really bad. The start's fine. 1, 2, and 3 are fine, and then 4 through, you could almost say through 12 or 13 are all pretty bad.
What's that par 5 on the back, 12 or 11?
Oh, that's horrible.
Horrible.
Yeah, horrible.
Yeah.
I think it's 11, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
really
is 14
bad.
the dogleg right?
The par 4 before.
That's my favorite stretch. That's an elite stretch.
Yeah.
14, 15.
Well, the drive on 14 is not great, but the approach is good.
Yeah.
And then once you get to that's when you get to the quarry holes,
then the par 3, and then the 2 quarry holes.
But outside of that, the middle of the course really lulls you to sleep, I think. And it's not. I don't know. I thought it was. I was just expecting a lot better for how highly it's ranked and how people talk about it. But nonetheless, a great venue for AM.
It's an awesome,
just because the facility
is
just incredible, and I do think the old course is pretty good.
Yeah.
The back 9 at least, and so that's the AM.
We got
Galloway is the mid AM.
Yes.
And that's going to be interesting because Galloway in May can play really hard. I don't care what tees you're playing from. If it's a windy day, you could see some really high scores out there.
I totally agree.
Day.
That's one I have circled. I'm definitely doing that. For sure.
Yeah, that would be fun to get. We don't have many Jersey majors, so got to take advantage of those.
Yep.
And then the third one we know is Applebrook.
That's right. Yeah.
And I don't think any of these. I think these are all to be determined. Not 100% penciled in, but I think these are at least the.
We have sources.
The front runners anyway.
Sure.
Applebrook for the Open, which is a good Open venue. I mean,
Yeah. New style.
Yeah, I'm not huge on the course, but once again, the facilities are great. The conditions are some of the best.
They can make that thing concrete
So,
up.
yeah, I played out there once, and there were some of the best conditions I've ever played anywhere. And I've heard day to day that place is one of the best
Excellent.
in Philly. So
Yeah.
yeah, you can't argue that place.
Yep. Kind of feels like what Laurel Creek would aspire to be in a new style. Maybe I'm wrong
With
on
no
that.
houses. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I struggle with Applebrook. I just think, I don't know, it just feels like it should be so much better. I don't know. I mean, Gil's great, and it seems like the land's pretty good. It just has too many bad holes for my liking. And there's just a few that are just...
Yeah, you're harder on it than I am.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the 18th hole's sweet.
Yeah.
17th's sweet.
Yeah.
It's got some really good holes.
Yeah.
The 10th hole's awesome. The tee shot's probably one of the better tee shots in GAP.
Back right near the patio there.
9's a fun short par 3.
Yep.
1's a good hole. See, I'm just trying to trying to be objective here, but
I like the place.
But then you get into just a few holes like 4 and 15, 16. I don't know, 3. I'm not really even a big fan of.
Oh, I like 3.
You like 3?
Yeah,
I've only played it once, so I guess I didn't appreciate the nuance to it. Because if you never played there, you're like, what the hell is this?
Sure.
I could see it being a member loving that hole, though.
I just like all the options.
Yeah, but when you're only playing for the first time, there's not many options because you don't really know what the hell's up there.
No, I agree.
You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
So I could see appreciating that hole over time. But as playing it for the first time, you're like, what do I do here?
Sure.
Yeah, 4, like I said, I'm not a fan of. Whatever. It's certainly a good course overall. And then the Jersey stuff, Forest Hill is the end, which I haven't heard great things about. I don't know anything about it, though. And then they're bringing the Open back to Hamilton.
Cool.
Which obviously is
that place pretty well.
About as good as it gets
for
a major
there.
championship.
Yep.
Yeah. So the Jersey was founded in 1900, and I've heard that for the 125 anniversary, they're going to have all the top courses.
Really?
Like a Plainfield's in the mix, and I think they're going to have all the big names are going to be
up north. They're not going to do any South Jersey.
I don't know. Maybe they'll throw in a South Jersey course.
Okay.
Maybe it's a shame Pine Valley never raises their hand for a Jersey event. I don't think they've ever hosted anything.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty neat. Just to
that would be cool.
To give.
You know what I think they should do? Union League National.
I know.
That's what they should do.
I know.
For like an Open or something.
I thought the same thing. I know Union League is open to having stuff down there, and I think what's cool about the shore courses is a lot of those North Jersey guys have shore houses.
Sure.
So or there's AC right there too, so you can kind of spin the whole we'll go down, we'll stay at the Borgata, and it's not like you're going out to York, PA or something.
Sure.
You're trying to drag people out there.
Right. Yeah, and you're trying to find the local Bob Evans or the Waffle House for dinner, right?
Yeah.
The Fuddruckers.
Yeah, and the Hampton Inn. And
I heard the burgers
that doesn't
are great.
really excite anybody. But if you're like, hey, I can go drive down, make a nice trip of it, especially if you have something in the summer. Buddies have shore houses, whatever. That's why Galloway, I think, is always a cool venue to have something at because of that. But
I hope they do one down there, either hidden or my preference is Union League National.
Yeah. That place, you've played there?
No.
Yeah, you've seen some pictures?
Yeah. I've walked it.
It's funny because, like you said, usually I'm overly critical on courses. That's probably the only course that I like that everybody hates.
Really?
So many guys hate that place. Almost everybody I talk to is like, yeah, that place is Mickey Mouse. It's stupid.
What were the specific criticisms of the place?
Well, people say the greens are stupid, but I kind of disagree because there's nothing else to the place. I actually love the approach that Dana Fry went with out there because it's so easy off the tee. It's so wide open. It's just a bomb it off the tee kind of course, and it's a second shot golf course. And the greens aren't you've played Running Deer before, right?
Yeah.
Those are bad greens.
Oh, of course.
I mean, you can't get a flat putt anywhere. There's no tiering. It's just buried animals every green, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the greens at Union League National are crazy if you miss on the wrong tier. Then you can have a roller coaster crazy putt. But there's a tiering approach. So it's you have to be exacting with your second shots. Because that's all the course challenge it really has.
Sure.
So I think it's fun. I think it's like a refreshing course to play because you can show up. You're not worried about losing balls. and it puts an onus on your distance control and your spin control.
And it's a long golf course.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. A lot of people just say it's. But I mean, those are guys I feel like that can't see past the fact that you were having 50-footers all day that are just almost you can't two-putt them because you missed it in the wrong spot, versus the course presenting challenges where you're chopping out of waste bunkers or something.
Right.
Like that's where you're losing your shots, and you're just saying these greens are stupid. It's like, no, you're just probably not hitting the right shots into them.
And you're just losing shots with a different club.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a very different style of course. I mean,
Yeah.
you're not used to having those putts and losing shots there. So
Yeah.
And then, I was told that the 4-ball next year is at somewhere good, but that's all I know.
Cool.
Like somewhere really good.
Watch this space.
Yeah. So there's probably a short list of courses it could be at, because I was talking to Brad and he was like, you're going to be really excited that you're exempt for this one. So I can't see him saying that unless it was a top 10 course, right?
I'm excited. I got to get a good partner for that.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Got to trick someone into playing with me.
Yeah, you're getting better, dude. Come on. You're gonna get in this Monday. Speaking of this Monday, we got the Indian Valley.
Indian Valley, yeah.
You got a good partner for that. No,
I do. I know. No, like I'm trying not to be an anchor, dragging them to the bottom of the ocean. But I had the pleasure of playing out at Indian Valley. Was it on Labor Day? Man, that place is a parking lot. It's so firm, dude.
I'm so excited to hear that.
We are high flight, high spin players. Like, even out of the fairways, my ball was chest high, bouncing chest high into greens. And the course is so exacting because it puts such an onus on hitting fairways. Mm-hmm. And when you miss, not only can you not control your spin into these firm greens, but the entryways into the greens, if you want to run them up, are so narrow.
Non-existent.
The mouths are so narrow that you really have to hit a perfect shot so that it doesn't kick left or right into a bunker or onto the short side. I'm excited for that qualifier US 4-ball.
I was really excited to hear you say that, because if I'm being realistic, I feel like the only chance that I'll speak for myself and maybe even you guys that we have is if the conditions are like that.
Right.
Because if it's a dartboard and there's only 3 teams getting in, if it's soft, 8 or 9 under is going to get in there.
Right.
And that would be a tall task for us to go out there and do that. But with the conditions you're talking about at 5 or 6, that's doable.
Yeah, and I know. Let's hope that there are no big thunderstorms over the weekend to soften things up. But we were out there at Labor Day.
It only gets so soft though. If it's that firm.
That's what I was saying. We played it on Labor Day. It was like 96 degrees, and they were drenching the greens, right? And it's still not soft.
Yeah.
They were drenching and watering behind us the full course, and you still couldn't hold fairways and greens.
Well, you can always tell when they're drenching the greens. It's like, they might be a little soft on the surface, but you still hear the thud.
There's a thud.
There's a thud on here.
Serious thud. Whack.
Yeah.
Almost, right? Yeah. No, it's so exacting.
I love that style of golf. It's so stimulating when you have to think about.
Angles.
It's not because, like you're saying, because if they're tucking pins on the right side of the green, you're like, I have to hit the left side of the fairway to really have a reasonable shot in at this pin.
Right.
Because you're in a 4-ball, you're trying to make birdies.
Right.
So you're not playing to. I mean, not saying you don't play to some center of the greens, but you're going out there with an aggressive mindset. 3 teams get in.
Right.
We got to make birdies.
Yeah.
Right.
And to boot, a lot of those fairways are canted one way or the other. So in the case that you have to be on the left side of the fairway to access that pin, if the fairway's slipping left to right, I have to hit a draw onto this fairway in order to
hit
hold
the right
fairway.
Shot. Yeah.
Right. You have to hit proper shots
everywhere.
Right. It's shaping shots. It's landing them in the proper spots. I think it's a consummate test, and from what I've heard from other tournaments, other qualifiers that they've held there, they love to tuck pins too. And those greens are tricky as hell, man. Very undulating in spots.
Yeah, I remember those greens having a little nuance to them. Like, I remember misreading a couple. I like to consider myself an above-average greens reader, and I remember having a couple out there that really had me scratching my head.
Yeah.
Where I was like almost like off on like where the valley, like I was just like a couple that like shorter putts, like a 6-footer you thought was left edge and it was right, like that kind of stuff, and you're like, it doesn't happen too much.
Yeah, there's like weird sections and humps and ridges, and they're clear sections to greens. You got to be in the right section and on the right side to be able to make a number.
Yeah, that's exciting. I'm really excited for that one. The one question I was going to have, because I remember even when I played out there, it was kind of firm, but I remember there were certain sections of the course that were kind of swampy. Like I remember that 10th hole being like a swamp over there. Is that even dried up over there?
No, I mean, that fairway, big sloping right to left, that's a racetrack down there.
Is it a
Honestly.
That's my first tee shot, so I'm wondering if I could just scream a driving iron down there or something.
Yeah, I hope you have a cut on it.
Oh, you got a cut.
You're not going to be able to hold the fairway with a draw. Seriously.
What's the play there?
Off the tee, you probably want, it's one of the, it's, so, this is why the course is so good. It's 1 and 10 are kind of similar holes. Mm-hmm. Obviously, 10 is way worse.
Yeah.
In just the look and everything.
Yeah, the visuals.
But you really want a full shot into all of these greens.
Yes.
Right, so you really, I think you don't need more than, it's a 370 hole, you don't need more than 240 off the tee.
Yeah, there's a lot of fool's gold out there.
Right.
You feel like I can just blast the driver up somewhere. Well, those holes you can't because you have water in front, but there's some other holes where you're thinking I can just get up near the green, but it's one of those courses you'd rather have 100 yards from the center of the fairway than a 20-yard chip, most likely.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, even with the par fives, that's what I learned pretty quickly because I'm kind of I have a swashbuckling attitude to par fives, just kind of blow it up there and figure it out. You're so fucked if you try to do that. Yeah. I just had so many 40-yard pitches.
So you could put the 20. The best you could do is 15.
Yeah, I'd rather take it back to a full gap wedge at 120 and you know that third hole par five that kind of goes down. Yeah. I was in the rough on the left, kind of pin high to that green. I was just so fucked over there. I would rather just hit the driver wedge, and I think I would have had a better shot to make birdie than where I was.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's good advice. I'm trying to remember if there's any other shots out there that I had questions for you on. So 1 and 10 are both 4 irons maybe?
It's
driving irons, 220 to 245.
Yeah, on one there's a bunker out there that's 235 into it. So if you hit driving iron, you could probably go in there. So you could always just lay it back. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of open on the right side there. But the shot does play a bunch downhill. Mm-hmm. And there are a couple, definitely on 1 and 10, pretty pronounced false fronts as well that will reject balls. So if you're short, you're not. You're just you got to land it up top and keep it up top, right? So any shot out of the rough to those 2 holes, you're gonna have to get lucky to get one.
Yeah, because you have to clear the water, and then you almost have to land it just over the water to put it close.
Yeah, you almost got to hit a total moon ball that lands up top and stays up top out of the rough.
Yeah.
It's
Any other holes worth noting? I'm just going through my head. I'm thinking of anything that's not driver off the tee.
So that 5th hole is a weird one, where it's a dog leg right.
Right. Yeah.
It's pretty tree lined on that right side, so they really don't.
I do remember that one.
And you run out really quickly if you go straight on the left. I think
a swamp over there, right?
Oh yeah, total marshland. I think it's probably 250 to go through. So any pull is just gone. Yeah. Right. It's red. I think it's only red staked. I don't think it's out of bounds. I've heard from other members you can blow it up way right, go up another fairway, but you're still kind of fucked over there. So I think the best play is kind of straight out 260 slight cut, whatever club that is. But it's still, even hitting less than driver, you'll have a $170 in.
Up the hill, yeah.
Uphill to a pretty
small
mean green,
yeah.
2-tier.
I remember that.
Run off behind the green. That's another hole that's
is this the way you're describing it? Almost has the sense of if you're off your game, you can really get skunked out there.
Almost, if you're off your game,
right? You could see some cards. I feel like it sounds like to me, 15 pars, 2 bogeys, and a birdie, or 15 pars, 3 bogeys. You can almost just really not make many birdies.
If you're off your game, you're not going to make any birdies.
Yeah,
I wasn't hitting the ball that well. I made 0 birdies.
You got skunked.
Yeah. Shut out. No birdies. I didn't hit the ball that well, but there are no gimmies out there, especially in the par fives.
Yeah.
The chipping,
I remember the green on that 7th hole, the par 5 being tough.
Or 8.
Isn't there a par? Oh, 7's the par 3.
7's a par 4, dogleg right. 6 is the par 3 with the cemetery behind it.
Yeah. 6 and 8 run parallel to each other.
Correct.
The 6th green, 8th green are right next to each other. That's right. And then 7 comes back. Yeah. The 8th hole. I remember that green being difficult.
Yeah, they I think they. How long
runs away? I think.
How long ago did you play it?
I played it 6 years ago in a GAP 4-ball.
Oh, okay. So I'm not sure if they had changed it by then, but around the green complex, they did something identical to Riverton's 7th hole, where they put a bunker on the left and then shaved down
on the right.
all the way on the right, and it's perched up, right? So any shot that's not with precise is getting rejected.
Off, yeah.
The shot value is just so high on that hole, and the other par 5s, like I said. So if you're not hitting an awesome shot that's ending up on the green, you're probably not going to make birdie, which I think is awesome.
Yeah, it's funny because I don't really view Indian Valley as a great course, and I probably think most people don't, but if you look at it from a shot value perspective, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
It's not a visually stimulating course, really, right? You would say.
No, not really.
It's not a beautiful place. It's kind of. It almost has the feel of a place that, in the next economic downturn, would look like a semi-private. Like it's right on that borderline of like private, semi-private kind of feel.
Sure.
Right. Like,
Yeah. They have a
almost
great
like
range.
almost like that Chester Valley. I always compare it to,
Sure.
right? Like those PA courses where you're like. Yeah, the next time the economy turns, that place is going to be giving out tea times on Tuesday and Wednesday to the public. Like,
Sure.
like,
Yeah.
I mean, I could be wrong. It could be a big money place. It's just the vibe the place gives off.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it has
Yeah.
that just kind of like, when you pull in, you're like, what the hell is this place?
But I would add a great range.
Oh, the range is ridiculous.
I know,
Yeah, it's so
crazy.
good. No, it's so good.
So much
Yeah.
property out there. And,
Yeah, you could shoot grass out there for days.
I know. As bad as that range is, though, it's one of the worst practice putting greens by that first tee. You remember that thing? Like big 2-tier.
Oh, horrible!
Not even close.
Yeah, so bad. I
Horrific,
forgot
dude.
about that. How do they not just flatten that thing out? I remember that. Yeah.
They flat. I think the top is flat, but no one really goes up. I don't know. It seems like more commonly people are down on the low side. Terrible practice putting green. But
so many courses screw that up, and it's such a layup. It's like anybody can design a practice putting green. Like, just give me some flat putts.
yeah,
Have a couple subtilities.
even at Riverton, they outthink themselves.
It's crazy.
But yeah, given those conditions, I'm willing to pin my reputation on. I'll set the line at 5.5.
Yeah.
That's in.
You shoot 6, your worst case you're going to be in a playoff, and the best case if you shoot 5 is you're going to be in a playoff. It's kind of where I have it at.
I'm feeling like a 7-6-6.
Yeah,
is going to be the 3.
The 3, and then maybe an alt playoff for 5.
I think 5 is good for an alt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. Those are always hard to predict, but it makes sense. There's some good teams in the field, so you can always get those. All it takes is 2 teams that just have a really good day, and you're like, wow, we got 2 8-unders out there or something. But
yeah. You said Osberg and Mason are playing?
They are, yeah.
I don't even know why I'm teeing it up.
Well, there's 2 other spots. If it was a shootout for one spot.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
That's going to be really tough. I'll be out on that range trying to find something in the morning. Andrew Mason and Jeff Osberg are going to be in the same event. That's sad.
Yeah.
Well,
you got Lawler. Lawler can play.
Yeah, we'll see.
We got a chance. It's not like you're teaming up with.
One of those men's league guys.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
show up in the men's league finale. Yeah,
exactly. We got a puncher's chance. Speaking of the qualifying, we had one qualifying site has already been completed in Rumson, up in the North Jersey Shore. The event's held at Philly Cricket Club this year, which
technically next year.
Yeah, what we're qualifying for, but yes, technically next year. And the team that medaled up at Rumson is a cricket club team. So Greg Orlando and Andy Latowski. Latowski was a cricket club guy. I think he's out west now, in California. But I think he's a former club champion, and Orlando's won some club championships out there.
Sure.
So they seem like they should be a formidable team in the actual event as well.
Yeah, no kidding.
And I know they both hit it long, and that's what you got to do out at cricket club. But yeah, congrats to those guys. Gregor really put that Latowski on his back. They were, at that make or break point at like 3 under through 12, and he just said, "Andy, like, don't worry,
help's on the way.
I'm taking you back to the cricket club, pal." I think he went like birdie, eagle, birdie, or something.
Oh,
like,
man.
just like a total,
That's gross.
just like hop on and just get your pom poms out.
Yeah.
Andy didn't really bring his A game. I saw his card was kind of, because he's really a player.
Yeah.
I saw he didn't get off the flight from California, but
it was the jet lag. Could have been the jet lag.
Could have been the lag. Next, when he comes back in for the actual event, he's got to get in a little earlier, get settled in, and he'll
maybe a week to settle in.
I'm sure he'll be fine.
Yeah.
Also in current news, Chip Lutz just won the GAP Senior Am today, closed it off. That guy is really incredible, man.
It does feel like at this point he is dunking on the mini hoop, though, right?
Yeah, it's almost like you look at the spreads on these scores. He shot 5 under today. The next guy's 2. The next guy's 1 over. The next guy's 4 over. I mean, the guy's 9 shots clear of 4th place. It's like basically like the way these scores are breaking down. When he plays in this stuff, there's only like maybe 2 guys that can even really beat him.
Right.
If he brings he even brings like his B+ or A- game. If he brings his A+ game, nobody's beating him.
Right.
Or even his A game. If he brings his B+ game, there's still only like 2 guys that could beat him.
Sure.
So it's at some point it's got to be just getting a little boring for the chipster out there. I mean, he kind of the way he plays golf. I'm looking at his cards. He's got 3 bogeys out there for 36 holes, 8 birdies, rest pars. It's just talk about stress free.
Yeah. Yeah, total
He's
autopilot.
basically doing his victory lap on like the 19th hole, right? Like he's just kind of like what's he like in his head?
Just get to start the buses.
Yeah,
Start them up.
In his head, it's almost like what could go wrong when you hit every fairway and almost every. Like he's so good.
Yeah, you can only just screw up that goofy 15th hole at Overbrook. I guess that's it.
Yeah, I don't know that, but I never played there. But
oh, really?
Yeah, but it's funny with him. It feels like he's in like a weird stage of his career where he doesn't want. I almost like he doesn't want to sign up for all this GAP stuff because it's almost like he doesn't want to discourage everybody.
Sure.
He just plays in like 1 or 2 events a year, usually wins it, and then just that's it. And then he plays the national stuff, and so he doesn't really have, I feel like, a good game for his game, like a good tournament for his game.
Sure.
It's got to be a little frustrating because, like you said, dunking on the mini hoop on these guys. I mean, there's sure, not to disrespect anybody out there, there's some really good senior players in the area, but there's not really any other Chip Lutzes.
Yeah.
It's almost like if you had like prime Mike McDermott when he used to play in this stuff, in his absolute prime.
It was a joke.
It's not many guys are going to be able to match that level.
Yeah.
Last thing was the Corn Ferry Tour. They had that at Matitaconk. Did you get a chance to look at any of those scores?
None whatsoever. I know the only thing I know from Matitaconk is your trials and tribulations in the hay on that 11th hole in a Jersey Open or something. That's my only frame of reference here.
I don't think any of those other guys were chopping out of that stuff. I was like a 40-yard pull with a 5-iron. I don't think any of those guys have that miss. That was back when I was really flipping.
Really?
Oh, okay. My God. It was just cast away, right? that was peak flip, I would say. Looking at the scores, yeah, it reminded me of what I thought it would be out there. Like a large disparity in scores. Like the guy that won was 20 under for 4 rounds. And then the guy that came in.
Quite good.
Yeah. It's almost like you don't even like looking at this stuff because it just discourages you.
It's pornographic.
It's almost like, exactly. It's almost like your wife's like a 5 and you just see some girl walk by. You don't even want to look, right? It's just disheartening. Like, it's like I got to go in with this shit swing. We're out here in this simulator trying to work out some swings here.
Yeah, just so I don't wipe a few on Monday, right?
Just so Chris will bring you back for one more better ball. That's really all you're hoping for.
Yeah.
You just want to make 2 birdies, so you say, "Pal, I got a little fun."
Yeah, there's a little bit of redeeming quality. There's no way I play well, right? So, yeah, just to get some juice coming back, right?
Yeah, you're just buying time.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to hit the free agency market again.
No.
I mean, the free agency market has a 1 handicap in the better ball. That's a really tough market to do.
I know.
We've been there.
It's almost like the NFL running back, right? No one's giving me the long-term deal, right? I might get like a short term with just like a fuck ton of incentives, right? Like if you make 3 birdies, 4 birdies, you get this many leashes, right? With 3 birdies, 4 birdies, 5 birdies, but we'll never give you a long term deal, right?
No.
Let's go 1 for 1.5, and then we'll cram in like 3 million in incentives.
Yeah, as soon as the birdies dry up, you're done. Like,
yeah,
you're basically
I'm worthless.
Yeah, you said you're a goose egg on Monday from just being cut. Like,
I know.
And almost just resigning, like just putting your letter in and just saying, "But like,
right.
I get it." Like,
yeah.
I don't want to.
No, I'm self-aware enough to know I can check out of this hotel.
Both of us, sorry. Well, that's the thing that's hard about a 1 handicap, I guess, hitting the free agency market, because you really don't have much to offer.
No, I'm worthless.
Right.
I stink, man.
Like you and I tried our team out there last year, and like you were really down on us. I think even par was fine for us.
And we kind of shit down our leg too on a couple holes.
We did. I had a couple bad.
We should have shot 4 under.
Yeah, 3 or 4 under. Yeah, really. Like I'm not saying like obviously there's some. Really, it was bad.
And our swings were horrible. At that point.
Horrible. I mean, the divots we were taking out there were crazy.
We violated that range. That range was horrible, by the way.
Oh, it was so wet.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Nightmarish for angles of attack quite like ours.
Borderline vandalism out there when we were done.
Sure.
Yeah, the guy had a whole wheelbarrow full of fill ready to flatten that back out. We really did stink at that point. It's almost amazing we shot even. We were really
I know.
Bad. I mean, we were bad because even my putting was even bad at the time, which is never the case really. Like
my putting.
Your putting was like
the blade, wavy blade.
Yeah, so for the listeners at home, Ben, I mean, up until recently, was putting with a Scotty blade with the
classic Newport,
the skinniest grip imaginable, basically gripping the steel with a claw.
Yeah.
I mean, just picture that visual. It's trying to stabilize that face is really tough.
And as a previous survivor of the yips, right, I've tried to find salvation with the claw, and we've been married. Me and my putter have been married since '09, and just trying to make it through for the kids, and just couldn't do it. Had to go the mallet out. Just had to get the biggest block of metal I could find, just to feel something else, right?
Yeah, that thing it was time for that thing to hit the resale rack. It was.
Yeah.
He's had a tough tenure. It's amazing he lasted as long as he did.
So much abuse. He didn't get
snapped.
So much abuse.
Was he getting banged around too, or just more just like a result?
So when I was a kid, I whacked it once against my shoe. It kind of bent the lie angle, and I had to get a reset.
Learned your lesson, yeah.
Other than that, no, that was kind of a shithead move. But going back to the other 4-ball stuff, it's crazy the numbers we were able to grind out with the swings we had.
Ugh.
So it's almost hard to believe.
Dave was on the bag hungover. That was nice of Dave to come out, double looped it, and
and it was hot that day, kind of.
Oh,
it was humid.
It was very hot.
Humid.
Yeah, very hot. He was ahead of the pace. He was great out there.
No, he's the best, right?
And then so 20 under Chan Kim. 20 under.
Okay.
3 shots.
He's been kind of I've seen his name multiple times. He's a total crusher out there.
Really playing well. And then you had the last place guy shot plus 10. So a 30 shot difference between first and last.
But even still, with a lot of those Corn Ferry, there are a lot of sponsors, exemptions, and fluff.
No, but that guy made the cut though.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So if you make the cut, you're
plus 10 made the cut.
So a 30 stroke difference. That's probably about as large as you're going to see.
Sure.
That's big.
Sure.
So, which makes sense out there because guys start losing the driver, you make numbers, but it's a short enough course. If you're hitting your driver well, these guys are going to have wedges all day. They're going to make birdies.
Yep.
So some chopping. That Ollie Schneiderjans was out there chopping.
Oh, the Georgia Tech cat.
He's really fallen off the map, Ollie. After that, wasn't he in a playoff for the British Open? Or is that just me me making it up?
You're shooting from the hip there.
Oh, no. What did he do?
No, he won. I
thought he was in contention at a British Open.
He won the USAM. He was in contention at a US Open. I think he was in contention at a US Open, but he definitely won a USAM. He's a Georgia Tech guy. I always remembered him. He always had the best. He never wore the hat, but he had the best ball flight with the long irons.
Yeah,
just the lowest,
Yep.
Most penetrating ball flight I think that I've ever seen on a pro tracer.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to old Ollie. Yeah, nice head of hair, but I guess the
I wouldn't be surprised if he had back problems too. He was really leaning on it. I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of those guys really lean. You know, those college kids. I don't know.
Doesn't seem sustainable.
No.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if they'll go back to that Matita conch. Who knows? I don't know. I watched a couple interviews, and of course, guys are going to be like, "Oh, the course is good," but are they even really allowed to come out and just say this place stinks? Like, is that in their contract that they have to kind of support the course? And you know what I mean?
Yeah, that is a good question. I don't know.
Because no one ever comes out unless it's a U.S. Open or something where they're not tied to the actual tour, right, or the governing body of the tournament. right? Like, no one comes out on tour and is like, yeah, I hate this course.
Nah, I think it's more of a USGA thing than anything else because you don't see guys just barbecue the PGA Championship course.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because the USGA, they have the ability to do it because that's not their boss.
Well, no, the PGA Championship is run by the PGA of America. That's not the PGA Tour.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying, like, in general, I guess, I just feel like it's just bad for your brand to be out there, like, just bashing courses.
No, I agree.
Like with Spawn, like, you just kind of have to play the part. Like,
Sure.
I love it out there. It was enjoyable. I love the city, right? Like, you don't want to be the guy out there. Like,
the fans are great.
Yeah, you don't want to be that. But, yeah, that's what they were saying at Tentative. But I really wonder if those guys maybe they were just smitten over the range. Maybe they just were talking.
That's a beat out session.
It's the best.
Yeah.
It's
Definitely.
Good place to find your game.
Yep.
I think that's all we have. Do you have anything else?
No, I think we covered a lot of ground today. Yeah, looking forward to the next one when we're going to cricket. When we're at Indian Valley. So.
Oh man, I hate to put that on here. Wow, let's talk about. That's like.
Don't do that.
That's like the guys. Yeah, that's like saying like the Lions are going to win the Super Bowl or something. Right? Like just they had a decent year and a couple good games. And
Flash in the preseason.
Yeah. They say that ball's coming out of golf's arm a little quicker this preseason. And you got Motorboat Dan out there.
Chopping kneecaps or what was it? What is I forget, but whatever.
We have a.
That's
okay,
what it was.
There you go. What is it? Biting kneecaps.
Biting kneecaps.
Really? What was that all about?
It was like a Hard Knocks thing.
Oh, I don't get into that scene.
He's a rah-rah. I don't either. It was just like a viral one of those things.
Oh, Danny.
See on Twitter. And
Danny can
X, things of that nature.
Yeah, real Neanderthal that Dan.
Yeah.
He really is.
I don't think the analytics department is that big under Danny's watch.
I was talking to my brother about this. We were saying that Dan may just be like, you could almost make him the highest paid coach in the league, but just for rebuilds. Like he gets you above.
He's like a consultant, right?
Right.
He's like a McKinsey guy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you bring him in for your toughest projects, and you get him above 500, and then you just dump him for some young coordinator.
Sure. Yeah, it's like a fixer-upper.
Yeah.
Or
Restaurant Impossible.
Yeah.
You're right. He's banging walls down. No, really though, I really think that could be his calling, because I really do think that from to turn a culture around, there's almost nobody better than Motor City. But
sure.
But I think at some point, like his ceiling's gotta I don't know if he can.
Oh, he's deeply unserious as like a legitimate football coach, right? But. No, you make a great point. He would be great. He would look great in Cardinal Red next year.
After the Lions go 8-9 and miss the playoffs,
yeah,
he's out.
I mean,
you think you're on skating on thin ice with Chris on Monday? That's almost like that's like a Motor City.
Yeah,
I think he's one bad year from. I think he has no wiggle there.
Yeah, until he totally falls out of favor with the fan base, the city. Yeah, the whole. Yeah,
he's an 8-9 season and a couple coaching decision blunders away from being done.
Yeah, he hasn't had a chance to make those blunders yet, right?
There's been no expectations.
Yeah, exactly. Now he finally has something, so let's see. Right?
Yeah, football's underway. I'm pumped.
Yeah, no, we might do a little segment later in the season.
Yeah. No, I would love that.
Yeah.
All right, that's it.
That's it. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.